Welcome to Zoe Stories. My crush thinks I'm a girl online. Now I can't tell her the truth. My name is Ethan Rivera. I'm 21, socially awkward, and secretly living a double life online. And it's all because of a single crush. To the world, I'm just another guy studying digital animation at a local college, spending most days in my dorm sketching, gaming, and obsessing over whether I'm wasting my youth. But online, I'm someone completely different. I go by the name Elena. And that persona? She's beautiful, stylish, confident, feminine in a way I've never dared to be in real life. It started as a joke, a dare during lockdown to try out a gender swap filter on TikTok. The comments flooded in. Wow, she's hot. Who is she? She's prettier than me. I laughed. Then I posted another video. And another. And that's when Julia followed me. Julia Taylor, my lab partner, my crush since last fall, and probably the kindest soul I've ever met. The kind of girl who remembered my birthday when I didn't. The kind of girl who never laughed at my awkward silences. The first time I saw her name in my followers list, I froze. I considered deleting the account. But instead, I replied to her DM. I pretended I was Elena. I thought it would be just one message, something light, a way to feel close to her from the shadows. But she kept talking, asking about my skincare, my outfits, my day. She called me beautiful, and I loved it. I've been fascinated with femininity for as long as I can remember. Not because I wanted to stop being Ethan, but because sometimes I wanted to be someone softer, someone more graceful, someone like the girls in the perfume ads I used to stare at for too long. But growing up in a conservative household where boys don't wear dresses wasn't just a rule, it was the law. I buried it, hid it deep. And now, here I am, playing dress up in secret like it's some kind of dangerous drug. And Julia? She's addicted to Elena, my fake digital self. She sends heart emojis, sends me pictures of her outfits. And worst of all, she tells Elena things she never tells me. She told me she's been crushing on a shy guy in her class and didn't know how to tell him. That guy was me. And I couldn't even tell her. It's Tuesday night. My dorm is quiet. My roommate's gone for the weekend. The soft hum of my laptop glows on the desk, while my closet door creaks open with anticipation. Inside, hidden behind my hoodies and jeans, is a secret drawer I installed when no one was watching. Inside it, wigs, makeup, lingerie, dresses, each piece wrapped in guilt and longing. The tension in the room is thick. I stare at my phone, where Julia's latest message glows on the screen. Elena, you always know what to say. I wish we could hang out in real life. Honestly, I trust you more than anyone. I grip the phone tightly. I'm falling for her more every day, and she doesn't even know it's me behind the screen. And now, she wants to meet. Julia and I talk in class sometimes. Well, she talks. I mostly smile, nod, and try not to choke on my own tongue. She's sweet, funny, and completely unaware that the Elena she's opening up to at 2 a.m. is sitting 3 desks away in our chemistry lab, pretending not to notice when her hand brushes his. I've tried ending it, typing messages like, I have something to tell you, or you won't like the truth. But every time I chicken out, because when she says things like, I wish I was as pretty as you, or you're the reason I feel confident again, I can't break that. She's never looked at Ethan that way. But she looks at Elena like she's magic. And that makes me wonder, maybe I like being Elena more than I should. The problem is Julia wants a meetup. She mentioned it again today. Maybe we could go shopping sometime, she texted. It'd be fun. You'd help me pick outfits I'd never dare to wear. My stomach turned. Because if she ever sees me, the real me, this entire illusion will crash. And she'll never look at Ethan the same way again. But somehow, I'm still tempted to try. To put on the wig, the dress, the heels. To become the girl she loves, even if just for a moment. I walk to the mirror. My face is blank. My heart's racing. I pull out a pair of nude heels from the drawer and hold them to my chest. Tomorrow, she's invited Elena to join a live stream fashion chat. It's silly casual, But if I say yes, she'll want me to show up on cam. And for that, I'll need to become her. Fully. And once I cross that line, I may never be able to turn back. Ethan sat at his desk, chewing the inside of his cheek, eyes glued to the glowing message on his phone screen. Elena, I'm doing an Insta Live tonight. Come on camera with me? Let's do a girly Q&A, skincare, fashion, all that. Pretty please. His fingers hovered above the keyboard. The smart thing to do would be to say no. The safe thing. But the words came out faster than he could think. I'd love to. The moment he hit send, his throat dried. He was going live. On camera. As Elena. There'd be no filters. No pre-recorded edits. Just him, in makeup pretending to be a girl, live with the girl he loved. It felt like standing on the edge of a rooftop with no way back. His dorm was silent. The door locked. Curtains drawn. He stood before the mirror, heart pounding, hands trembling as he opened his hidden drawer. From inside, he lifted the soft brunette wig, his favorite. The one that framed his face like a whisper. Next came the outfit, a pale pink pleated skirt and an off-shoulder crop top with tiny pearl buttons. Feminine. Flowing. Delicate. Just like Elena was supposed to be. Piece by piece, Ethan transformed. The weight of the skirt against his thighs. The tight pull of the camisole. The gentle click of the heels on the wooden floor. When he looked into the mirror, Ethan was gone. Elena stared back, lips painted soft mauve, lashes curled perfectly. He wasn't just wearing her clothes anymore, he was her. And, for the first time that day, he smiled. But deep down, he knew what he was doing was dangerous. 8 p.m. Time to go live. Julia's screen lit up first, smiling in a rose-tinted hoodie, soft curls around her face. And here she is. My Insta bestie, Elena. Ethan, Elena, joined the split screen, their faces side by side. Julia gasped. Oh my God, you look amazing. Are you wearing that off-shoulder I love? Why, yeah, Ethan said, softening his voice to match Elena's tone. I remembered you said it was your favorite. The chat exploded. Slay Queens. Elena's giving main character vibes. Is she a model? He blushed behind the screen. His voice was holding. His smile looked natural. Julia was laughing, complimenting him. It was perfect. Almost too perfect. And that's what made it terrifying. Just as the live stream ended and Ethan began to relax, a sound shattered everything. The front door. Opening. Panic. He scrambled, heels kicking off, wig yanked, makeup smeared by shaking hands. Skirt half unzipped. But before he could stuff everything back into the drawer, Jason, his roommate, walked in holding a bag of fries. He froze. Jason's eyes darted across the room. Pink clothes on the bed, lipstick-stained wipes, a trembling Ethan halfway between identities. What the? Jason blinked. Ethan stammered. It's not, I mean, this isn't. Jason raised a hand. Dude, chill. You don't need to explain. There was a pause. A terrifying silence. And then Jason said the last thing Ethan expected. You looked kinda good. Like, if that's your thing, I'm not judging. Later that night, Ethan sat on his bed, still wearing the silky camisole under his hoodie. The room smelled faintly of rose water and foundation. His reflection in the mirror was half-removed makeup, smudged eyeliner, and guilt. Julia sent a voice message. You made my night, Elena. You always do. I don't know, sometimes I feel like you get me more than anyone. Like you see me. I don't even know your real name, but I trust you. He closed his eyes. She trusted Elena. Not Ethan. But Elena was still him. Wasn't she? Or was she someone better? The line between who he was and who he wanted to be had started to blur. And somewhere deep inside, he wasn't sure he wanted to go back. The room was still. Silent. The kind of silence that only deepens when you know you're about to do something irreversible. Ethan stood in the center of his dorm, phone buzzing on his desk from yet another DM from Julia. You have to join me on live tonight, Elena. Everyone's dying to meet you. Don't make me beg. His throat tightened. A bead of sweat rolled down his temple, even though the air conditioner was humming on full blast. She called him Elena again. And for the first time, he wanted to be her. Fully. Not just behind a screen, but seen. Seen as someone beautiful, feminine, desirable. Not as Ethan, the quiet, awkward guy with fading hoodies and a nervous laugh, but as Elena, the charming, mysterious girl who knew how to wear pink gloss and confidence like armor. He turned toward the closet. Not the main one with his jeans and jackets. The other one. The hidden one, wedged behind a false panel he'd installed under his bed frame. He reached in, pulling out the small vintage suitcase that held the other half of his life. The suitcase clicked open like a vault. Inside, a dusty pink off-shoulder crop top with tiny pearl buttons. A matching pleated skirt, soft and airy like something out of a K-drama. Sheer tights, folded neatly like silk secrets. A carefully coiled wig of soft brown waves. A zip-up bag filled with foundation, blush, lipstick, and mascara. And tucked in the corner, his favorite perfume, a subtle floral scent Julia once mentioned during class. I like when girls smell like something gentle. Like you want to lean in closer, you know? Ethan's hands shook slightly as he pulled out each item. He laid them on the bed slowly, reverently, like sacred garments before a ritual. The anticipation built in his chest, equal parts fear and ecstasy. He stripped off his hoodie, then his shirt, revealing a compression tank beneath that pressed down on his chest and shaped his torso more softly. It was tight, uncomfortable, but it helped Elena take form. The tights came next, cold against his skin at first, then warm. Familiar. He sat down to pull on the skirt, zipping it up and smoothing the pleats. It floated just above his knees, brushing against his thighs as he moved. The feeling was electric. Then came the crop top, slipping over his arms, resting gently on his collarbone. The fabric hugged his body like it had always belonged there. Next, the wig. He sat in front of the mirror, heart thumping as he carefully adjusted the mesh cap, slid on the wig, and pinned it in place. The brown waves framed his face like something out of a filter. But this wasn't a filter. This was real. And then the makeup. His fingers moved with practiced precision, blending foundation, contouring just enough to shape his cheeks, brushing rose blush across the apples of his face. His hand trembled slightly as he lined his eyes, extending them with a soft flick. He stared at his reflection. Half-finished. Still him. Still Ethan. But the lipstick would be the final seal. He opened the tube. The scent hit him first, vanilla and sugar. He remembered Julia giggling one day, saying, "I judge a girl's whole vibe by her lipstick. Bold lips, bold heart." He applied the shade slowly, soft mauve with a glimmer. His lips looked fuller, softer, feminine. And with that, Ethan was gone. Elena sat in the mirror, blinking slowly, her chest rising and falling with shaky breaths. She looked perfect. And terrifying. The clock ticked toward 7:40 p.m. 20 minutes until the live stream. She slipped into a pair of nude block heels. Not too high. Just enough to elevate. She stood, shaky at first, adjusting her posture like she'd practiced in private 100 times. Straight back. Shoulders loose. Chin lifted slightly. She walked across the room, click, 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 her steps soft, deliberate, practiced. Each one was an echo of the girl inside her trying to be real. She reached the mirror again. Elena touched her hair, brushing it behind one ear. Her painted nails looked strange on her hands, familiar, but not quite, like they belonged to someone else. Someone she was becoming. Her phone buzzed again. "Julia. You ready, babe?" "I'm so excited." "You're gonna kill it. You always do." Elena stared at the message. "Babe." She called her babe. Her lips quivered. Because it wasn't just dressing up anymore. It wasn't just a look. It was love. Julia didn't know it was Ethan behind the lashes and lip gloss. But he knew. And still he wanted to go on. He wanted to be Elena tonight. For Julia. For himself. For the version of him that felt real only in these clothes. He sat down, phone in hand, waiting for the go live invite. His heart was racing. His body shaking. but his lips, soft and pink, curled into a small, terrified smile. Julia Taylor has invited you to join her live stream. He tapped accept, and Elena was live. The notification blinked like a loaded gun. Julia Taylor has invited you to join her live stream. Elena hesitated. Her finger hovered over the accept button. One tap, and there would be no turning back. She wasn't hiding behind filters this time. No pre-recorded TikToks. No carefully edited selfies. This was live.
Raw.
Unforgiving. Her pulse thundered in her ears.
Click.
The screen split. Julia's bubbly face appeared instantly on the top half of the live stream, radiant in natural light, her cheeks flushed with excitement. She wore a lavender hoodie and a messy bun that somehow made her look effortlessly gorgeous. And then Elena popped into view. Julia gasped audibly. "Oh my God, Elena. You're stunning. Like, are you kidding me right now?" The comments began flooding in. Who is she? Literal goddess. Elena is hotter than me, and I'm mad about it. Two queens. Elena swallowed hard, adjusting the webcam just slightly. Her hands were shaking under the desk, but her face, softened by makeup and confidence, held. Thank you, she said, smiling into the camera, her voice a soft breath. You look amazing too, Em. Julia melted. You're just being sweet. But seriously, we need to do this more often. My followers are obsessed with you. Speech balloon, are y'all best friends or sisters? Speech balloon, Elena. Drop the skincare routine. Speech balloon, you two should start a podcast or something. Ethan, no, Elena, felt a strange surge of warmth inside her chest. People liked her. They saw her. Not as a joke. Not as a mistake. But as someone beautiful. Someone real. The live stream flowed like champagne, bubbly, sweet, and a little dangerous. Julia showed off her latest thrift store finds. Elena gave outfit advice. They talked about lip colors, favorite perfumes, and what it meant to feel pretty. The chat rolled nonstop. You always say the right thing, Julia told her, laughing. Sometimes I feel like you get me more than anyone. The compliment cut deep. Ethan felt his throat tighten. Because the truth was, he did get her. They had talked for hours. He knew her favorite snack, frozen grapes, her guilty pleasure show, K-dramas with cheesy love triangles, and the name of her childhood cat, Pickles. But she didn't know him. She only knew the illusion he'd created. And yet, he didn't want to stop. Because in this world, Elena's world, he wasn't invisible. He wasn't a weirdo in a hoodie fading into the back row. He was wanted. About 40 minutes in, Julia leaned in toward the camera and said, Okay, spill. If you could go anywhere right now, like teleport, where would it be? Elena blinked. Honestly? Somewhere quiet. Cozy. Like a cute little cabin where no one knows me. I could just be. Julia nodded slowly, her smile dimming. Yeah, I feel that. I've been thinking about moving next year. Getting away from the pressure. Just starting over. There was a pause. The comments slowed for a second. Then Julia said it. You know what's crazy? I've been thinking a lot lately. I wish I had a real friend like you in real life. I mean, I do, but like, one I could see. Hang out with. Go shopping with. You know. Ethan's stomach dropped. This was it. The moment the fantasy would either shatter or pull him deeper. I'd love that, he whispered. And he meant it. Even if it was a lie. Even if it was dangerous. Even if he was risking everything. He meant it. Because when Julia looked into the camera and smiled at him with those warm, trusting eyes, he wasn't sure being Ethan was enough anymore. As the live stream wrapped, Julia waved into the camera. Thank you for watching, everyone. Elena, you're amazing. Don't forget, we're totally planning that shopping trip soon. Even if it's virtual for now. The screen faded. The chat disappeared. Elena was alone again. The ring light clicked off. The glow vanished. And silence returned to the dorm. She stared into the dark reflection of her screen. No chat. No emojis. Just her. Still in the skirt. The wig. The heels. The lipstick. But suddenly, they felt heavier. Like chains. Not wings. She stood, walking toward the mirror slowly. Elena stared back, but behind her eyes, Ethan's fear was rising. This wasn't just dress up anymore. This was a double life. A lie she couldn't stop telling. And the worst part? A small, shameful voice inside whispered, "You like this. You like being her more than being you." And that terrified him more than anything else. The glow of the live stream had barely faded when Ethan, still fully dressed as Elena, let out a shaky sigh and collapsed onto his bed. His cheeks were still flushed from compliments. His legs ached in the heels, but he didn't want to take them off yet. He wanted to hold on to the moment a little longer. On screen, he was adored, admired. He was someone people wanted to know. Julia had said it again and again. "You're so beautiful. You're perfect. You make me feel less alone." That should have been comforting. Instead, it made him feel like a fraud. He pulled the wig off slowly, setting it on the stand, ran a hand through his flattened, sweaty hair. His fingers trembled as he reached for a makeup wipe and began erasing the fantasy from his skin, one swipe at a time. Foundation, blush, mascara. Each layer he removed felt like peeling away part of the person Julia had fallen for. And once again, Ethan was left staring at the unfinished version of himself. The awkward in-between. Not fully her. Not fully him. Just floating. He sat there, skirt still clinging to his thighs, tights slightly twisted, when... Click. Creak. Footsteps. The door. Ethan's heart nearly exploded. Jason. His roommate. He wasn't supposed to be back. He had messaged earlier saying he'd be at his girlfriend's place all weekend. But then... Bro? You left the hallway light on. You good? Too late. Jason walked in. Bag of takeout in one hand. Keys in the other. His footsteps froze mid-stride as he took in the scene. Ethan froze. Still in full Elena attire from the neck down, skirt, tights, and painted nails. His face half-wiped, lips smudged from panic. Makeup wipes scattered across the desk like forensic evidence. Wigs stand on the dresser. Perfume still lingering in the air. Jason's eyebrows lifted slowly. His mouth opened, closed, then opened again. What the hell? Ethan couldn't breathe. He tried to speak. Nothing came out. His hand shot for the blanket, fumbling to pull it over his lap. This isn't Jason, wait. Jason raised a hand, eyes wide but calm. Chill. Seriously. I'm not gonna freak. Ethan blinked. His ears were ringing. Jason took a cautious step forward. Are you, doing drag or something? Is this cosplay? What's going on, man? Ethan stared at the floor. It's not a joke. Not for fun. He expected laughter. Disgust. A door slam. But Jason just nodded slowly. Okay. Got it. So, it's real? Ethan nodded once. Jason glanced around the room again, at the lipstick-stained coffee mug, the open makeup case, the skirt still hugging Ethan's trembling legs. Well, Jason muttered, setting the takeout bag down. I mean, no judgment. I've seen weirder. I watch anime. A beat of silence. Then Jason added, You actually looked kinda good. Not gonna lie. If I saw you on Insta, I'd have thought you were a real girl. Ethan looked up, eyes wide with disbelief. You're not mad. Jason snorted. Why would I be mad? You didn't steal my fries. The tension snapped. Not entirely. Not the kind that lived deep in Ethan's chest, coiled like wire. But enough for him to breathe again. Just don't post anything with me in the background wearing boxers, Jason joked. And maybe give me a heads up next time, yeah? Ethan let out a breathy laugh, half nerves, half relief. Jason grabbed a soda and flopped onto his bed like nothing happened. So, Elena, huh? You do this often? Sometimes. Jason shrugged. Cool. Wanna watch something? Ethan blinked again. Like now? Yeah, bro, chill. I'm not gonna out you. Later that night, Jason snored softly from his bed while Ethan lay awake, curled under his blanket. Still dressed. Still shaken. His heart wasn't racing from fear anymore. It was something worse. Guilt. Because now someone in real life had seen Elena. And still, he hadn't told Julia. She thought he was a confident, out-of-town girl, not a guy hiding under the weight of a lie. The line between fantasy and reality was crumbling fast. And Ethan knew, next time, he might not be lucky enough to cover it up. The room was dark now, lit only by the soft blue hue of Ethan's phone screen. Jason had fallen asleep hours ago, but Ethan remained curled up on his side of the dorm, still partially dressed as Elena, tight camisole under his oversized hoodie, the scent of his perfume clinging to the pillow. His body was still, but inside, he was spiraling. The events of the day played on repeat in his head. Julia's sweet smile during the live stream. The flood of compliments in the chat. The look on Jason's face when he walked in. The lie he had told, by saying nothing at all. What scared Ethan the most wasn't being caught. It was how much he didn't want the fantasy to end. He opened his phone and hesitantly tapped on Julia's name. Her last message was a voice note, sent 2 hours ago. He pressed play. Hey Elena. I know I already said it, but tonight was just perfect. You made me feel seen, you know? Like I wasn't performing for the world for once. I felt safe with you. I keep thinking if we met in real life, I'd finally have someone I don't have to pretend with. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you just get me. Like you're meant to be in my life. Her voice cracked slightly near the end. Ethan closed his eyes, clutching the phone to his chest. He wanted to reply. He wanted to tell her the truth. He wanted to say, "It's me, Ethan. The guy from class who sits behind you. I've been pretending. I didn't mean to lie. I just wanted to feel close to you." But how do you explain a lie that made someone love you? He stood slowly and walked to the mirror. His reflection stared back. Hoodie too big, skirt peeking out underneath, legs still in sheer tights. One earring remained clipped to his ear, forgotten in the rush earlier. Elena wasn't fully there. But Ethan wasn't either. It was like looking at a stranger who was halfway finished. He reached out and touched the glass. His fingertips left a soft smudge across his reflection's cheek. Who am I even trying to be anymore? He thought dressing as Elena would just be an escape. A character. A secret. Something temporary. But now she felt like a part of him. The only version of him who ever felt confident. Who ever felt chosen. Who made Julia laugh. Who got called beautiful. He pulled off the skirt and wiped away the final trace of gloss on his lips. Still, he didn't feel like himself. Because himself didn't exist anymore. He sat back on the bed and opened his journal. The one no one knew about. The one he started writing in the night after his first time trying on his sister's lipstick. He turned to a blank page. He wrote slowly, carefully. Today, I went live with Julia as Elena. She told me I make her feel safe. She called me her best friend. And I smiled the whole time. But after, I cried. Not because I feel guilty, but because I feel seen. Loved. And I'm scared I'll lose it if she ever finds out the truth. The pen hovered. I don't know if I'm pretending to be Elena, or if I've been pretending to be Ethan my whole life. He underlined that sentence. Twice. A soft ding from his phone pulled him out of the moment. A new text from Julia. Are you still up? I can't sleep thinking about you, lol. His heart ached. She was falling for Elena. And he was falling too, faster than he could stop himself. But no matter how badly he wanted to reply, he couldn't find the courage to keep the lie going tonight. He turned off the phone, placed it face down, curled under the covers, and whispered into the darkness. I don't know who I am anymore. Julia's text came at midnight, glowing against Ethan's chest as he lay curled up in bed still wearing Elena's camisole under his hoodie. What if we met in real life? I don't want to hide behind screens anymore. You mean too much to me. Ethan sat bolt upright. Meet? In person? His breath caught. This couldn't happen. She couldn't see the truth. He stared at his reflection in the dark screen. His nails were still painted soft pink. His tights peeked out from under his hoodie. He still smelled like Julia's favorite perfume. His thumb hovered over the keyboard. OMG, that would be amazing. I'm just a little nervous. Let me check my schedule, okay? He hit send. A delay. A lie. But now, The fantasy wasn't safe anymore. It had left the screen. Julia wanted more. And deep down, so did he. But at what cost? The next morning, Ethan skipped class. He couldn't bear to sit behind Julia in psych, watching her laugh at someone else's joke while thinking Elena was texting her sweet replies. He stayed locked in his room, surrounded by makeup brushes, worn tights, and emotional chaos. Jason noticed. "You look like you're unraveling, man. Want to talk?" Ethan hesitated, then nodded. "I never meant for it to go this far. But now she's in love with someone that isn't real." Jason looked at him seriously. "But you didn't lie about your heart. That was all you, wasn't it?" "Yeah." "Then maybe the version of you she fell for is real. Just buried." That hit Ethan like a punch. But the guilt stayed. Julia deserved honesty, not secrets stitched into skirts. Still, every time he tried to record a confession, he deleted it. He couldn't lose her. Saturday afternoon. Rain tapped softly against the window. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed, half-dressed as Elena, tight jeans, a pale pink sweater, his nails flawless. He was about to remove it all when… knock, knock, knock. Then a voice. "Elena?" "Surprise, it's me." His blood ran cold. Julia. At his door. Uninvited. Unaware. Panic surged. He tore off his wig and shoved it under the bed. Kicked his heels into the closet. Threw a hoodie over the sweater. He cracked the door open. "Ethan," she blinked, stunned. "You go to this college? Wait, you live here?" He froze. Julia, this isn't, please, you should go." But she pushed past him. And then she saw it. The skirt on the chair. The lipstick on the desk. The perfume bottle, with a bow. The wig stand. "Elena," she whispered. "No." "Ethan?" Silence. He didn't run. He didn't lie. He just nodded, eyes full of shame. Julia stood in the middle of the room, hands shaking. Her lips parted, eyes glassy. "So, this whole time you were her?" "I didn't mean to lie at first," Ethan said, voice trembling. "I just wanted to feel close to you. Then you started falling for Elena, and I didn't know how to stop." Julia's voice broke. "You were the only person I opened up to. You told me I was beautiful, safe, real. And now, what am I supposed to feel?" "It wasn't fake," Ethan said. "Not the way I cared. Not the way I still do." She looked around at the pretty things, the secrets. Then back at Ethan. "Is this who you really are?" He didn't answer right away. Then softly. "It's the only time I feel real. Elena is me. Or part of me. I don't know yet." A long pause. Julia turned toward the door, but didn't open it. "Then you better figure it out." Night fell. The storm outside matched the one inside Ethan's heart. He stood in front of the mirror again, Elena's wig in hand. His hoodie hung loose, but the pink camisole still hugged his chest. He placed the wig back on. Looked into the glass. Who was he? Both. Neither? He barely heard his phone buzz until the tone changed. A voice message from Julia. He played it. "I don't know if I can forgive you, but part of me still sees the person who made me laugh every night. Maybe I wasn't the only one pretending." Tears spilled down Ethan's cheeks. But before he could respond, his phone buzzed again. A link. A screenshot. Julia's voice shook as she messaged. "Ethan, someone leaked a clip from the live stream. A full-face shot of Elena." He opened the link. His heart dropped. The video had thousands of views. The secret was no longer private. Elena had gone viral. And now, the world would know. Ethan's fingers trembled as he tapped the link Julia had just sent. The moment the video loaded, his world came crashing down. There she was. Elena. Sitting in her soft pink sweater, smiling at the camera during the live stream. The lighting was flawless. Her hair perfect. Her lips curved in a way Ethan didn't even recognize anymore. And now the whole internet could see it too. 10,942 views. 1.3K likes. Caption. Who is this stunning mystery girl? She's viral, and no one knows her real name. His throat dried. He couldn't breathe. The comments hit harder than slaps. She's so pretty it hurts. Does anyone know who she is? I think she goes to my school. Wait, isn't this that shy guy from Psych? Not a girl? That last one stopped him cold. It had begun. The unraveling. The fantasy was no longer hidden. The world was looking for her, and behind her face, they might soon find him. He looked up at Julia, still on the other end of the message thread. She hadn't said anything else yet. Just sent the link. This video is everywhere. She finally texted. Did you post it? No, he typed back instantly. I swear. I didn't. Then someone recorded our live. Ethan, you're not invisible anymore. He dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a hollow thud. He turned toward the mirror. Elena's face staring back, wide-eyed, helpless. The line between Ethan and Elena was gone. Now the world would see both. And he had no idea what would happen next. Would Julia protect him? Would people from school figure it out? Would his family find the video? And worst of all, was he ready to be seen as himself? Narrator voice soft, intense, and suspenseful. The girl he created was never supposed to escape the screen. But now she's everywhere. And Ethan? He may never get his life back.